back with more Walking Dead. This is episode 14 of season 10. Very excited to get into this episode and see what's going to happen next. Obviously, last episode was Michonne's last one. We said goodbye to her. She's going off to find Rick. Hopefully that's going to lead into something more in the future. But for now, I imagine this episode is going to go back and focus on everyone else. Hopefully the aftermath of Alpha being killed by Negan a couple of weeks ago, which I'm very, very excited to see more of that. And hopefully like a Carol and Negan dynamic. Or are we going to focus on a different set of characters again? I don't know. That's always a fun thing in Walking Dead. You never quite know what characters are going to focus on in each episode. But I think things are going to start ramping up because we're getting towards the end of the season. Obviously, I think since the last episode, they've announced the delay with the finale, so that's going to be airing later in the year. We don't have an exact date. So it's actually going to be next week's episode. It's going to be like the last one for a little while. Which, you know, you understand because of the whole kind of situation in the real world. It makes sense that they haven't quite gotten the last episode ready. That's completely fair. Post-production takes so long. And yeah, you know, I know some TV shows, you know, some producers have talked about their shows when they've gotten like the visual effects and everything ready literally like hours before broadcast before, so I don't really blame them at all with this whole situation of the episode having to be a bit delayed. Fine by me. I mean, look at Cats, that got released in theatres and then they literally had to touch up the CGI while it was in theatres, so, you know, it's a thing. TV, production, all of that is kind of crazy. And either way, I'm still very, very excited for these next two episodes. I'm just going to savour them all the more, considering we're going to be one episode down for a little while. And yeah, very, very excited to see what this episode is going to bring. So let's get into it.
You ought to be lining up your skin queen in your crosshairs.
What do you think this is?
Yep.
Damn. The stone's on you.
So you in or out?
Word has it you are.
I already love this pairing.
So you bring me Alpha's head. And that's what the people will remember you for. I'll make sure of it.
Oh man. Negan ended this woman's whole career. I'm glad she's on a pike as well. Creepy bitch.
Let's start spreading the news.
I'm leaving today.
Mom.
What took me so long?
What took you all night?
I need to be alone. Shit like that takes time.
Self-isolation. Aww. That's quite wholesome. Where's Connie?
Excuse me.
Can someone drive me to my date?
How long have you been keeping this from us?
I have some of the same questions. But if Eugene's instincts are that this Stephanie may be a new ally, then let's hear him out before we jump to conclusions.
Ezekiel, you're the best.
But someone else should have the adventure. Meet the new people. It's okay, Miko.
They're like the old couple from Up, but one of them's not dead yet.
Leaving at the West.
Because I'm gonna miss you.
Aww.
Make sure our legacy lives on.
I don't like how much of a goodbye this is looking like. This is the true love story of The Walking Dead, isn't it? Hello. Holy shit. Surprise.
No, move closer.
My daughter. Oh. Same. Is he just gonna like keep on his desk or something? Like a snow globe?
Shit.
Oh!
Yeah. Where's Alpha?
Uh-oh.
Poor Lydia told you. Where's she? Why the hell else? You think that your girlfriend let me out of that cell?
Oh. Another thing she didn't tell you about. Oh, God.
Always watch.
Oh, stop. You're crazy. Oh, this looks nice. Apart from the severed head. Ooh. Oh. Oh. The day the music died.
I'm sorry you're mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. I'm sorry.
Oh my.
What do you want? Say it.
Cheesecake.
Eugene, please tell me we aren't really on a journey to find chocolate bunnies.
Of course not.
I would happily die on that
On a
journey.
for the future. Hopefully.
This situation seems cagey. Oh god. Ezekiel. Peter's got a lovely voice.
You were thinking about me. Wondering where I went.
Well, you're in hell now, so...
Do you hear me, you empty-headed slave?
How can we not? That could have gone better.
Stupid cues.
Look, we sit here and we wait for Carol, or I could take you to find the... Oh, come on. It took a minute. I had to get her to trust me, because I wasn't on some half-cocked suicide mission. No, it's because you liked it.
Oh boy. Maybe a bit of both. Uh-oh.
We kneel for the new Alpha.
Oh.
Huh.
How about that? Are you okay? I don't think he's taken this alpha thing very well. Oh, you just fixed that.
Just savoring the moment. Oh, taking my sweet ass time. All right, fellas. Let's order business.
This is another ruse, I think.
If I'm the Alpha, why is someone who is most definitely not the Alpha holding the badass shotgun?
Oh shit, no. He's gonna kill you all.
You should probably shoot me. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hey!
What's going on?
Oh.
No. It's okay. Nothing's gotta hurt anymore.
Can this show stop killing the fucking horses? God, Ezekiel needs a fucking break, didn't he? Jesus.
If I fall in there, promise me you'll leave me behind.
No,
He wasn't strong enough to make the
Heavy.
journey.
no one cares what I have in mind for the future. I'm here to find out what's possible.
Oh.
What none of us could predict. You know who we need with us? The man that built a kingdom in the apocalypse.
Ah. Yumiko. Wholesome. That was a good speech.
Everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Why don't you shut up already?
Me.
This way, friend. We're ready for you. No one's coming to save you. Not Ezekiel. And certainly not Daryl. Not after what you did to Connie.
Connie's fine. It's fine.
You lose people. Sophia, Lizzie, Mika.
Lizzie was a bit crazy, though.
Just look at the flowers. You're supposed to.
Oh, damn.
One.
Oh.
It's never too late.
Oh, thank God. Burn in hell. Wow. When was the last time we saw a man on a horse in a cowboy hat riding towards the city?
When I said that I liked it, I wasn't part of the act.
Yeah, I know.
He remembers his time in the cell.
You don't kill people that don't deserve it. And you never kill kids.
Is that supposed to make me like him?
No.
Good.
And what about my winning personality? What about Carol?
She'll find her own way. She tends to do that. Well, that's disturbing. Ezekiel's lost it, guys. We have to put him down.
Oh my God, hi!
Hello.
Thank you. I see.
I don't think you do.
Thank you.
Ah, that's better. That's such a weird image, this show, man. I like your new mask. It's nice. Okay, I think that was a pretty solid episode overall. Not one of my absolute favourites of the season, but I think it was like a solid outing and it advanced quite a few stories, and I am intrigued to see where they're going to take a lot of these plot threads. Where to begin? Should we start with all the beta stuff? I guess I like that we've gotten a hint of his backstory before, but you know, it was nice to see like some official confirmation of who he used to be. Get a glimpse of that. He's kind of like this popular singer guy, which is cool. He's kind of lost it, even more so. I mean, the fact that he was like wearing skin in the first place is cause for concern. But yeah, there's just a lot of him kind of truly, I think, losing parts of himself. There seems to be like a war going on with him. When he's just like listening to his old songs and letting the walkers kind of descend on him and everything. There's like a look of like sheer delight on his face when all that was happening. He was watching them all come. And I guess it might have been like him recreating that feeling of when his voice would draw lots of crowds because people would come to watch him and stuff like that. I kind of interpreted it as that, him kind of reliving that feeling. And maybe that's going to give him like, this is what it feels like to be a leader or to have like people follow you. So he's kind of using his past to inform his future now that Alpha's dead. And maybe that was him kind of, okay, this is how I used to kind of got people on my side and got people to follow me. Now I can do that myself, and he's kind of gaining confidence in that, and that's what he learned to see, that Alpha's taught him, like, he can take over. So I feel like we're going to really see Beta step up in the last couple of episodes of this season and be like the big threat, which should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to handle things, probably as like the top dog, since Negan's definitely not taking up that position, which is good. So all that stuff with him was fairly interesting. I don't think I needed to see as much of it as we did, but I'm very intrigued as to where they're going to take his story for the rest of this season, potentially beyond. I don't know if he'll survive this season. I don't know how long this Whisper thing is going to last for, much longer, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to finding out anyway. I'm going to get some really cool shots of him as well. That shot of him and he ripped his mask off again, half of that, and it was like, again, just a mix of his old life and his current one. The balance between those two that he kind of seemed to struggle with almost, or tried to manage and maneuver to find the best of both in this episode. I kind of like that shot with that. The shot of him holding Alpha's head up to his, that was a really cool image as well, as bizarre as that is, but I'm just glad that he did finish off, because my god, as much as I loved Alpha and found her a very interesting character and a cool villain, I'm kind of glad we can move on now. Because I think the best villains on The Walking Dead are ones that don't stay around for far too long, or if they do, they kind of change their ways or adapt and go through different stories like Negan has. So yeah, all the stuff with him is pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going to go, and how he may step up and what his next plan of action is going to be. Then with everything with the first few scenes with like Magna coming back and having a very wholesome reunion with Jerry, I liked that moment, because obviously he thought her and Connie were both gone after the whole cave incident, so it was nice to kind of see them reunite. Jerry's just such a wholesome character. He must be protected at all costs, so I like the scene with him and Magna there, and also the scene with him saying goodbye to Ezekiel. That felt kind of quite final to me, which gets me a bit nervous, particularly because we know Ezekiel's condition and it seemed to be a bit worsening in this episode. So I'm kind of scared for him because I really like Ezekiel. But yeah, Jerry was very, very wholesome, and I liked Eugene kind of stepping up, getting people to help him to go and meet Stephanie. Hopefully, I don't know if that was actually her at the end there. I don't think it was. I don't think that was quite her voice. But I'm looking forward to maybe meeting like this new community of people, this new set of survivors. Even though we already have quite a few characters to juggle already. But it depends. They might not be permanent characters for all we know. But I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Stephanie's community is and how that works and operates, and how or if they're going to become allies for our group. I think that could be really, really cool to see. So I'm very, very excited about that kind of side of things. And, you know, the journey to the place and everything in the city, you know, I could have given or taken that kind of story, I guess, with them like travelling to get there. I don't really need to see that. But it was kind of cool to see Eugene open up a bit, talking about, you know, his hopes of the future when they get there. Seeing a bit more of Ezekiel struggling. Like when his horse died, oh man, that was rough. I'm very, very nervous for Ezekiel. But that aside, while I was like not particularly interested in the arc of them like journeying there, it did provide my favourite scene of probably the episode, when Ezekiel's horse died and he kind of given up, and Yumiko's speech to him. I loved that speech. You know, we need the man who built a kingdom at the end of the world or in the apocalypse or something. That was such a great little speech. I do like Yumiko quite a lot. And it was nice to kind of, Ezekiel was normally the one doing these big, grandiose speeches, like trying to instill hope in everyone, but it's nice that someone still did that for him even when he couldn't, and he was the one that needed that kind of thing. So I thought that was a really, really nice speech, and a really, really cool moment. And I don't think Ezekiel will ever truly give up until the end, whenever that may appear, because he's not looking too great at the minute, which is nervous, makes me nervous even. But yeah, Yumiko's little speech to him was fantastic. Definitely probably my favourite scene of the episode, outside of the initial Carol and Negan interaction and the Daryl and Negan stuff as well. So everything with them are pretty interesting. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. And yeah, seeing Negan and Carol finally interact properly was really cool, however brief it was. I would have liked a bit more, but I'm sure we'll get that later on down the line. Seeing Carol be the one to release Negan, actually see that happen was cool. And Carol's reasoning, like, you know, if you do this, I'll make sure that they remember you for this and not all the things that Negan did way back when, including killing my favourite character. But Negan's such an interesting character, so I'm happy that he's going to stick around. And you know, he tricked the Whisperers all over again, and killed them, because as much as he enjoyed that power, and I'm glad that he admitted that, because I think it was fairly obvious he did enjoy that kind of side of things, he showed a lot of honesty to Daryl in this episode that I really, really liked and appreciated. So I thought that was really, really fun. And I'm intrigued as to whether Negan can really find a place properly, and if he can earn the trust of people like Daryl. I think that could be a very interesting story to see. And yeah, just their interactions I think are absolutely golden. So hopefully we get a lot more of that in the future. But what we did get in this episode was a lot of fun. Negan desperately trying to prove his case to Daryl. So yeah, I liked all the scenes with those two. Hopefully we can get a bit more of that in the future as well. And I would really like to see Negan kind of find a place in this community, especially because, you know, he has pretty much proven himself, I think. and proven that he has changed his ways quite a lot with the whole Alpha situation. And again, you know, he could just let Daryl die there, where those whispers came to like worship him, which was kind of interesting. That could be another thing, you know, is Beta going to be met with a bit of opposition when he goes back? Are they all going to be on his side? Are there some who think, oh, we should be following Negan now? That could be kind of like an interesting thing. Maybe there'll be like a Whisper civil war, who knows? But yeah, I always like seeing Negan, he's so much fun to watch. So I like seeing him interact with both Carol and Daryl in this episode, and I look forward to seeing where that's going to go. And then the whole thing with Carol going off on her own, having these hallucinations of Alpha, it's a very Walking Dead thing. You know, it's been done quite a lot with a character hallucinating another one. You know, it's just like their inner psyche telling them all these things. You know, oh, Daryl will never forgive you for what happened to Connie, and you know, you've lost all these kids along the way. You know, it's very much an act of self-hatred on Carol's part, in the form of the person she probably hated the most, which I thought was a very interesting concept and a great way of kind of keeping the actress around as Alpha for like an extra episode. Made a lot of sense. I liked how they kind of did that. And I also like that I think Samantha Morton's performance in this episode was kind of slightly different. The way she portrayed Alpha, I think that she was at times a bit like gentler and a bit like sassier-ish and more humanized, I guess, as opposed. I don't think she felt like full-on Alpha, if you get what I mean. It felt like she was kind of a mix of Alpha and Carol. It seemed a bit more relaxed and refined and a bit more articulate. Maybe it was just a lack of the mud or whatever all over her face, but it felt like it was kind of a mix and a blend of Alpha and Carol, because it was still in Carol's mind. And she didn't know Alpha particularly well and knew all like the mannerisms and stuff, so I thought that was a very interesting performance from Samantha Morton. I did like the idea of Carol trying to overcome that, not letting herself die, trying to keep fighting on, trying to keep making things better, keep having that hope, which then ties into Ezekiel's story in this episode as well, the Numiko trying to give that hope to him. Again, the connection between Carol and Ezekiel in even their storylines, I think, is an interesting thing to explore, given they're both the ones who like lost their son in Henry. So I thought that was a very interesting thing, and when she kind of got herself out of that situation, and knew even after everything she's done, there is hope that she can make it all right again, and maybe she can one day forgive herself and move on, actually have a happy life, and maybe make things right with everyone after she's put so many lives in danger. That caused the visions of Alpha to leave. I really like that, and hopefully that is kind of a sign of Carol making this huge step forward, and she's not going to be so reckless anymore now that Alpha's gone. I don't think it excuses some of the stupid decisions I think she's made this season, but hopefully this is a turning point where she can start to make amends for all of that, which would be a very, very exciting thing, because it has been quite frustrating watching Carol this season at times, as much as I love her. So hopefully this can be a real kind of change for her going forward, as we approach the final few episodes of the season. So yeah, what is it now? 2 episodes left? 2, but technically 1 at the moment, because the finale will be a bit later on in the year. So next week will be the last episode for a little while, which is kind of sad, but I think, you know, we have come to an end of a very, very good season, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things are going to kind of wrap up this season. And yeah, slightly more prematurely than we were expecting, but I still think it's going to be really, really interesting and really cool to see. And yeah, a side episode overall, some really interesting kind of character stuff with Carol and her hallucinations, Beta kind of stepping up and potentially becoming a bigger threat. The Negan interactions with both Carol and Daryl were great fun as well. And Numiko's speech to Ezekiel was probably my favourite moment of the episode by far. And I'm excited to see where that new community potentially could go as well. So lots of interesting seeds being planted as we head towards the final episode next week for a little while. And yeah, slide out an overall. So pretty good episode, and until my next reaction, thanks for watching.